The cold, metallic walls of the alien throne room reflected the dim glow of hovering lights, casting strange, dancing shadows across the polished floor. The alien queen sat atop her elevated dais, her armor glinting like liquid metal, her eyes narrowing as she observed the human standing before her. Marcus, a soldier from Earth, tightened his grip on the hilt of his plasma blade, feeling its gentle hum against his palm. "I hear you speak boldly of our strength," the queen said, her voice a strange melody, resonating with a tone that was both threatening and strangely seductive. "But words are wind. Let us see if your body can back them up." With a graceful motion that made the floor tremble slightly, she rose. The energy around her seemed to pulse, bending the air as if it had weight. "I challenge you to a duel," she continued. "Show me, human, what you are truly made of." Marcus's heart beat faster, but his mind remained calm. He had trained for this, though nothing in the manuals could prepare anyone for the presence of an apex alien. And yet, there was something in the queen's gaze of curiosity, maybe even respect that hinted she had never faced a human like him. "I accept," Marcus replied simply, his voice steady. The queen's eyes flashed, and she drew her own weapon, a long, crystalline blade that shimmered with internal light. It wasn't just a sword, it was an extension of her body, alive with energy, and it radiated power so intense that Marcus felt a tingle along his spine. They circled each other. The queen moved with impossible speed, each step calculated, her strikes precise and lethal. Marcus blocked, ducked, rolled, and parried, the hum of their weapons filling the chamber. Sparks flew when their blades clashed, dancing in the air like tiny stars. Marcus could feel the queen testing him, prodding for weakness. He dodged a spinning strike, slid behind her and thrust his blade. She turned her torso at the last moment, and the blade merely grazed her armor. Her laugh was low and amused. "You are agile, but you are nothing compared to me," she said. Her strikes became faster, a blur of motion. Marcus struggled to keep pace. Sweat ran down his temples, but he felt something awaken deep within him, a calm awareness, like he had tapped into something beyond his normal limits. It was then he remembered the tattoo on his forearm. Simple in design, it looked like an intertwined spiral of lines and dots, almost like circuitry. But Marcus knew it was far more than decoration. It had been given to him by an old mentor who had once whispered, "When you are in true danger, let it show the world your mark. It will protect you in ways you cannot imagine." Desperation rose as the queen's blade arced toward his head. Marcus, almost instinctively, rolled forward and slammed his forearm onto the floor, letting the tattoo press against the polished surface. A sudden pulse of energy surged through him, glowing faintly beneath his skin. The room seemed to shiver, and the queen froze mid-stroke, her eyes widening for a brief heartbeat. Marcus saw the queen falter, unbalanced, as if a force unseen had halted her. The energy radiating from his tattoo spread outward in a subtle ripple, brushing against the edges of her senses. "What?" she whispered, stepping back, her blade lowering slightly. Marcus's eyes glowed faintly as he felt the tattoo's energy synchronize with his own movements. It was as if the mark had tapped into some universal rhythm, granting him strength and speed beyond human limits. Every strike he made now carried a force that even the queen had to respect. He lunged again, this time with purpose, but he did not strike to kill. His goal was to prove, to show, to make the queen understand the nature of human resilience. His blade connected with her armor, not with the intention of breaking it, but to demonstrate precision and controlled power. The queen stepped back, analyzing him carefully. Marcus noticed the change. Her movements, once predatory and ruthless, became measured. She was cautious now, aware that this human was no ordinary opponent. "Your mark," she muttered, voice carrying awe. "What power is this?" Marcus straightened, holding his stance. "It's not just power," he said. "It's will. Humans survive because we refuse to give up, because we protect what we care about. That is strength you cannot measure with weapons alone." The queen's eyes softened slightly. For centuries, she had never seen a human challenge her, not just in combat, but in spirit. Other races had fallen before her blade, but Marcus was different. He did not fear her. He did not hate her. He merely stood, grounded in purpose, letting the tattoo amplify what was already within him. A silence filled the throne room. Even the hovering lights seemed to pause in anticipation. Marcus and the queen stared at each other, a strange understanding passing between them. The duel was no longer about winning or losing. It was about recognition, acknowledgement of strength, courage, and unyielding resolve. The queen lowered her blade fully and took a deep breath. You are extraordinary, human," she said, almost reverently. "I thought my people were invincible. I thought no one could match me yet. You have shown me something different." Marcus relaxed slightly but kept his guard. "I am not here to destroy you," he replied. "I am here to survive, and to show that humanity is not to be underestimated." For a moment, the queen simply stared. Then, with a motion both graceful and decisive, she extended her hand toward him. It was not a challenge this time. It was a gesture of acknowledgement, perhaps even respect. "I accept your strength," she said. "But more than that, I respect the spirit behind it. You carry a mark not just of power, but of purpose." Marcus looked at the tattoo. then at her hand, and understood that the duel had transformed from a battle into a bridge. The tension in the room, once almost suffocating, began to fade. The Queen's aura no longer radiated menace but something more complex: curiosity, respect, and a willingness to see humans not merely as prey or subjects, but as equals in will and courage. He sheathed his blade slowly. "Perhaps we are not so different," he said. The Queen tilted her head. "Different, yes, but worthy. Absolutely." Her voice carried weight, carrying the authority of a ruler who had never been so challenged, yet now found herself intrigued. "Your species has something even my own cannot command: unyielding determination in the face of impossible odds. That is rare." Marcus felt a warmth of satisfaction, not from victory, but from understanding. He had faced an apex predator of the galaxy and had done more than survive. He had made her see humanity in a new light. The room seemed to shift. The hovering lights glimmered more brightly, as if acknowledging the change. Guards and attendants, previously tense and watchful, now relaxed, sensing that the duel had ended not in death, but in revelation. "You have my attention, human," the Queen said finally. "Perhaps we should speak further. There is much you could teach me about your kind, and much we could learn from each other." Marcus nodded. "And there is much your kind could learn from ours," he replied, the tattoo faintly glowing under the sleeve of his uniform. He felt its energy pulsing gently, a reminder that even in the vastness of the universe, humans carried hidden strength not always understood by others, but always real. The Queen regarded him for a moment longer, then turned, her armored silhouette moving back to her throne. Marcus followed, not as a captive or an enemy, but as a representative of humanity, one whose courage had forced even the most formidable being in the room to reconsider everything she thought she knew. As they walked through the chamber, the Queen's voice echoed behind him. "Your tattoo, it stopped me, but it is your mind, your heart, that commands it. Never forget that, human. Strength is nothing without will." Marcus smiled faintly, feeling the truth in her words. Humanity had always survived against odds that seemed insurmountable, and here, in the heart of alien power, that same indomitable spirit had been recognized and respected. For the first time in centuries, the alien Queen had faced a human and found herself humbled not by a weapon, but by determination, courage, and an unwavering will. And Marcus knew, deep down, that this encounter would ripple far beyond the walls of that throne room, forever changing the galaxy's perception of humanity. He did not need to strike again. The duel was over. Humanity had won, not through destruction, but through spirit. And in the quiet hum of his tattoo, Marcus felt the heartbeat of something greater: the truth that humans, small and fragile though they might appear, carried within them the strength to challenge gods. The Queen looked back at him one last time. "Next time, human," she said with a faint smile, "do not make me underestimate you." Marcus only nodded. In his heart, he knew that the universe had just witnessed the beginning of a new chapter. Humanity, underestimated for centuries, had made its mark not with domination, but with resilience, courage, and the quiet power of will. And somewhere, deep within the alien throne room, his tattoo pulsed softly, a reminder of the strength that lay within a human soul. This story clocks in around 1,500 words, keeps us in HFY tone, and uses simple, approachable names.